Okay, so we're back, and I am at the point where we need to split for sleeves. So the easiest thing to do is to use, some shops call it barber cord. I purchased mine from Amazon. It is rubber cord, 2 millimeter cording that has a hollow hole, and you can put the cord onto the needle, and then you're going to slide off the appropriate number of stitches. Now, I will be honest with you, I count my stitches long beforehand. I know how many stitches are going to be, I pay attention to how many stitches are going to be taken off, and I mark it the row before. So you have to apologize real quick because I need to get the stitches up and off. Let me see if I can zoom out. You can see more. So I am moving my stitches up. I already have it marked, so I just go to my stitch marker, and then once I'm at the stitch marker, I take the stitches off, pull this off, and pull it through. I have a really long cable. I have plenty of cabling, so I like them long so I can try on and the sleeves don't get too tight, and I don't have to worry about anything popping loose, coming undone. I do tie it in a knot, and then take the stitch marker out. And now this next bit, you don't have to do it the way that I do, but I do find it easier. So it's totally up to you how you do this, but you need to cast on 11 stitches. And you also need to be able to pick up those 11 stitches when it's time to pick up your sleeves. So I have found a trick, and the trick was I found from Laura Nilkin. She was doing it for a different purpose, but she has you basically wrap the yarn, go under, grab it, over, so you're yarning over for every stitch. And you do that until you have 11 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then you work the next stitch. And I go ahead and work like 5 or 6 just so that it secures it, and then I tie these stitches on this cord into a knot. And what that means is when I come to pick up the sleeve stitches, I don't have to come back and try and figure out where these are because they're already on my cord. I am going to show you on the other side how to cast on just normal in 2 ways, but I will tell you this is my preferred method in that it just makes this. You do have to do a couple extra pickups in the corner because, as you can see, this stitch is over here and this stitch is over here, and you have to fill in this gap when you pick up, when you knit your first round of your sleeve. But this is significantly less stressful than trying to find these stitches and get your needle in the exact right spot. So I'm going to go ahead and work over to the other side of the sweater, to the other sleeve, and I'll come back and show you how I cast on the other sleeve. Okay, so I just put the other sleeve on the second cord, so now I can tie it. And now we need to cast on. So there's so many ways you can do it. If you're going to do a backwards loop cast on, And if you're a continental knitter, backwards loop cast on, you just move your finger. If you're holding your finger like this, you move it and pull up the loop that way. So you could do a backwards loop cast on. You can do a crochet cast on, which if you're going to do a crochet cast on, you would take your crochet hook, place it in the loop that's on there and pull up a loop, and then you chain one, or you basically chain one over there. So that's one, that's two, that's three, that's four. So that's a crochet cast on. That's probably would be my preferred method, second to putting it on the cord. If you don't have cords and you still want to have the stitches to pick up, you also could crochet the stitches with a different yarn. So you would do the same thing that you just did, but instead of using that yarn, you would grab preferably a very smooth cotton, not the wool that I'm using right now, but you would come into your stitch and then you pull up a loop, and then you would crochet on here in this waste yarn your stitches, and then when you go to pick up your stitches, you would just undo your crochet cast on, and it will leave those stitches as a live stitch, easier to pick up. So that's another option for you. And then the final, well, that's not final, there's so many possibilities that you can use. If you know how to do a cable cast on, you could do a cable cast on. If you know how to do a knit cast on, you could do a knit cast on. You wouldn't be able to do long tail because your stitches are already here, but cable cast on is like a knit stitch, but you go between the stitches and then you put it up on the needle. Cable cast on. Let me see if I can zoom in on that a little bit for you guys to see the cable cast on. So you go between the last two stitches, grab the yarn, pull through, and then you twist the stitch and put it back up on the loop. So that's another option for you, is to cable, or a knit stitch cast on is you just go into the stitch like you're gonna knit it. You pull up a loop, but you don't take it off, and you put this loop back on here. And then you go back in, grab your yarn, pull it up, twist it, and put it back up on the loop. I'm going to back out and see if that's easier, because some people can see it better when it's up close, some people can see it better far away. So knit stitch, it's just a knit stitch, but you twist and put it back on the needle. There's no right or wrong, but again, like I said, my preferred method, if you can get a hold of this cable, you can get this cable just lots of places. It's not crazy expensive, but my preferred method is, again, to just take one of these cords and hold the cord with your needle like this, so that they're kind of in alignment with each other, and then go under and grab the yarn, and go over and grab the yarn, and under and over and under, and you're just wrapping the stitches around the cable, the cord, and your needle. So that's doing that. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, I will be 100% honest with y'all. I do not know how you would possibly wrap this holding your yarn over here. I don't know how you would do that. I can't answer that for you because it's hard enough for me to attempt to just knit out of that hand. So let's double check again. I have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Not sure that's correct, but we'll check the pattern. But always make sure that your numbers are correct by the pattern. And then we have the stitches on hold, so I'm just gonna tuck that cord back inside. We go over to the live stitches and we just keep on knitting. As Stephen West often says, just keep knitting, kitten. But I'm gonna make sure that my stitches are not too far apart from each other because I don't want the stitches crazy loose. Alright, now we should be good to go. And now you just follow the pattern. If you're doing the stripes, if you're doing a non-stripe version, you would just literally keep knitting the body all the way down if you're not using the texture or the stripes. If you're doing stripes, you just continue to follow the pattern for the body as far as your stripes go. For me, I'm just starting my new stripe and it's this stripe, so just now. Every size starts their sleeve separation on a different row. So it's super important. Make sure that you're following your pattern for your size, for when to split for sleeves, and for how many stitches and how many stitches to cast on. And then we will go over probably the third Saturday, but one of these Saturdays we're going to go over how to adjust the stitches that you cast on or adjust when you split for sleeves based on your preference or your body type. And yeah, that's all I have for splitting for sleeves at the moment. Have any questions, can ask them in the Zoom, or you can email me or make a comment down below. Keep in mind that the comments down below are public for everyone to see, so if you're okay with them seeing your questions or your comments, by all means keep it respectful, because if it's not, it'll be deleted. That's it. Have a great day and thanks for joining in.